Here we are in game number 4 of the Warpaint Championship Grand Final. It's been about, I think, 2 months to get here, the road, for our players and for the casters. It's been a lot of fun, and this could perhaps be the last game. It is a match point for DEVM. He is 2-1 in this series. It is the best of 5. So Jesulin, as the Soviets, has to play this one flawlessly to keep the Spanish dream alive.
And we get a nice opportunity to look at this build again, because of course we saw in that game number 2 that the MG and the Grenadier comes out before the Penal Battalion gets on the field. And you can see the timing of this. It gives DEVM a really nice opportunity to get set up in a way that he wants. And of course Oster is all about positioning. So he has a really good opportunity right now to go over to this northern side of the map, get the MG in the building, you know, get all of his units in the right places and wait for the Penal Battalions. Of course, this didn't stop Jesulin in the previous game, though. The Penal Battalions were very strong when complemented by the Guards, and it's probably something that we're going to see again. However, no players are jumping in with a commander, which is good. They're still leaving strategy open in case they need to make any changes to deal with their opponents. So it's good. It's open-ended at the moment. Same builds though for both players. We're probably going to expect to see the sniper. I think it came quite late. I think the sniper was like 5 or 6 minutes previously.
Yeah, it was a bit late. I think the sniper, I did say in game 1 that it's a bit harder, or sorry, it's a bit better against Penals, but this is a really hard map for the sniper. So I wonder if DEVM will delay the sniper in favor of getting 3 or 4 Grens and then sniper. I know he'll still get it either way, but maybe he'll get it later, given that it is a bit harder to use it on this map.
This, by the way, is a classic DEVM tactic that he was actually talking himself about earlier. So what he's done is he uses the MG at the start of the game at a forward position. He's then going to run that MG to another position on the map to deceive his opponent into thinking he's gone double MGs. And that's exactly what he's doing. He was saying it earlier. He's like, I'm going to take an MG, I'm going to suppress a unit, and then I'm going to run it somewhere else, and it's going to be, you know, it's going to look like I have more than I have. This time, though, he's actually calling.
Wow!
DEVM
is adapting!
He's actually playing a strategy that we're not familiar with. Oh my god. And I mean, MG play though is doing really good.
I like that he isn't going sniper, given that Jesulin is going for M3 and he perhaps knows Jesulin's strategy.
Yeah.
However, MG isn't actually that good against the M3 though. You're very vulnerable to the clown car where you have the flamer inside of the M3 if you leave the MG in a house. That being said though, it's going to give DEVM insanely powerful cut-off potential, which currently is actually taken. Jesulin is disconnected from his points, and with 2 MGs it can be hard to actually flush out. But he is vulnerable to the clown car here. Maybe he should have gone for another sort of Grenadiers, so you have plenty of Panzerfaust. The Penal's going to do pretty good damage here to the MG. MG I think is looking for the church. Really wants to be. No munitions there for Faust.
No, it looks like Jesulin was a little bit scared of it though. He backed away as if, you know, it was going to happen.
He almost lost the house there. Actually, Jesulin's munitions, he could actually satchel this. It might be worth it considering that there's 2 MGs. But maybe not, he wants to have the flamers instead. But that could have been an option. The quick satchels can be quite surprising. Oh no, the Partisans! That's going to be the Partisans spawn getting the wipe on the MG. Probably the steal as well here. Oh man, actually the MG is going to be set up on the retreat path, so maybe he'll lose the Partisans or the MG. We'll have to see. Let's look at the MG. Is it retreating? Yeah, retreating through the MG42.
I think he'll get away with that.
Oh man,
I really do think he'll get away with that. DEVM may. I mean, he can't pop any. He can pop a rifle nade, but again, the squad is so spread out on the retreat. It's just not going to happen. It's a really nice steal for Jesulin.
Yeah, it was nice timing there. It's a little bit sad. I mean, the reason why I don't like being able to spawn out of houses is because it takes no preparation or foresight. You just click the button and you get a free wipe on an MG. So it wasn't really DEVM making a mistake. He didn't really do anything wrong. But Jesulin did capitalize on it. He did commit himself to this commander, which isn't the best commander in terms of late game. Maybe it won't be worth it here, but probably will.
The other interesting thing as well is that, I mean, the partisan selection, perhaps this has been selected with the kind of suggestion that the sniper would be on the field. Maybe that's what, you know, Partisans was initially kind of being kept in mind for, but DEVM hasn't taken that decision this game. So whilst it is going to perform very well against the support units, look at this. Look at these preparations here from DEVM.
Perhaps DEVM, yeah, should have put some wire down. You can wire off one of the doors. Yeah. So then you force the partisans to spawn from the rear door, in which case they then they won't be able to get a wipe on a retreat. So that's kind of, you can prepare for that if you know it's coming by putting wire down or S-mines as we see now. But before you see it, yeah, there isn't really much you can do about it. So that's actually the same squad of partisans, I believe.
That was some great pathing there. The scout car, even with all this time to make a decision, still drove into the tree. Absolutely phenomenal.
Other than that, what do we have? We've got 4 grenadiers here. So actually a very gren-heavy build for DEVM, more so than what we normally see. Jesulin has a lot of munitions, manpower as well here, so he's going to be going for the penals. Again, he doesn't have the guards, the really strong squad that he wants to have right now, but he will have an MG to his name. This retreat path should be fine there. I think his friends nearby, actually. Oh, they're suppressed. So, still, I mean, it doesn't even matter if you're suppressed, you can still fire the Faust off, so the M3 can't fully commit to chasing down the MG.
It's nice he's putting a little bit of pressure right now on the strategic cutoffs, and this time though he doesn't have guards, and I think, you know, if DEVM can get scout cars out here at the moment, I mean he's only got to worry about the anti-tank partisans, which are actually very, very good to be honest, but scout cars can still perform well enough, you know, they do have more opportunities to retreat, they're not going to get buttoned. I think that's a really important thing, is not getting buttoned necessarily.
VP is pretty much even for both of our players here. Jesulin is playing pretty well here in terms of the fuel's being disconnected. It's really important to try and delay DEVM because then it'll force him to go for mobile defense if he doesn't have enough on the field to counter the T-70. T-70 is a little bit delayed, of course, because of the M3 and the 222 now showing up. So that's going to be a nice counter to the M3.
Here we go, this is the scout car we were talking about. I mean, the partisan anti-tank hunters could kind of mop this up quite nicely. But DEVM's probably a little more careful than that, to be honest. He's probably going to make sure that he either owns the buildings where this is going to come out, or have some other kind of protection in place. I mean, this kind of thing is risky though. These could pop out at any time. Does he have the 18 AIDS text as well? I should probably check that out.
Yeah, it's really important to have those nades preemptively teched, so then you can spawn out if you need to and get the insta-nade and the insta-shred. It's a pretty crazy combination. We actually had it. I think he spawned it, but he didn't get the nade off. Yeah, see, big mistake from Jesulin. He didn't have the nades teched. So he spawned the tank hunter partisan, I think at the northern position, which was on screen. But he spawned the Shreks, and he actually got one Shrek off, but that's not it. Not enough for the kill. And then after that, they're not a very good squad, they're very fragile, so if you don't get the initial wipe with them when you spawn them, they can fall off pretty damn hard. I don't think there's a med bunker though for DEVM. He's really going to be suffering from that, especially against flamers. Do you want to look at his base quickly, see what if he has a med bunker? Oh, he does, okay, good. Very crucial timing as well. We see all his Gren squads retreating it with not much health.
Difficult one. Difficult one for DEVM to get out of with his current build, because it's so infantry focused that it surely has some pretty easy counters at the moment, and especially with the stolen MG as well, which is a 6-man squad. It's defended by PPSH partisans. Yeah. This is, if you're going to recrew an MG, like recrew it with the partisans, because you have a very, very strong squad there, regardless of the actual support weapon as well.
The thing is with the partisans though, as you say, the damage is really strong, but I'm pretty sure the squad is so easy to kill. The received accuracy is very low, so it's kind of a trade-off that you have. You do have really good damage, but then the squad not very durable here. I think the game is still actually pretty even, apart from the map control, but that can change very quickly. I feel like actually the composition is better for DEVM now, just because he has a lot of Grens which scale very well. I mean, there's 3 penals which will scale better, but you kind of have critical mass of LMG Grenadiers where you can just burst down squads at long range with those LMGs. But DEVM has to be careful about the T70, which shouldn't be too far off here. DEVM was considering building a pack. He does have the scout car here, so he has some kind of anti-tank, and this M3 going, getting for a bit of a bait. The Shrek not actually firing there. That would have got the wipe on the 222 if that connected.
That was very unfortunate. I was really like just in range as well, and unfortunately, maybe being on attack move, that may have actually got the shot off.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like that was the case. It needed to be selected.
Well, I saw the Shrek was raised to fire, but it wasn't in range for long enough. DEVM going for his sniper now. I like that, but I fear it may be too early, because I think Jesulin actually has his tier 3. And a T70 right now could just actually wreck face, because there's only that 222 needs to have a pack out on the field. Or I mean, I could say maybe Shreks, but there's not enough munitions for that, and with 4 Grens, you really want to spend all that munitions on the LMGs. But the sniper's going to be really good against the penals, because the penals outscale the LMG Grens. You want to have something to whittle them down.
Yeah. The other thing as well is, of course, as we just heard through radio intercept, Jesulin knows that sniper's just come on the field, so he's going to get that extra burst of it. Like, he knows that DEVM doesn't have an AT gun. If Jesulin's been listening to radio intercept, which is this ability from the Partisans, if you didn't know, he will know the exact build of DEVM's army right now. So he's going to be able to play a very, very informed game here at the moment. He's going to be able to keep rolling with the counters constantly. This penal battalion is this is going to be a very, very strong push here.
Especially when you have a map with so many garrisons, the sniper's really hard to keep alive, because the Partisans can always spawn and wipe them. There's a lot of those smaller houses that you don't actually use, but you can spawn from them. For example, to the top left of that main house there where the scout car is, you can spawn from that. So you do have to be very careful. Maybe we should see DEVM wire off some of those doorways, or mine them with the S-mines, just to try and prevent the Partisans from being that powerful. They also have to... Oh man, the mine detonates from the Partisans. He actually may wipe the Grenadier squad if he's following that one up, but DEVM's multitasking is generally too good for this to happen. Yeah. The fact that they can also throw the guard grenades is really, really strong, so those grenades are crazy powerful. We actually have a squad getting hunted down by the M3 near the south munitions point, if you want to have a flick over there. Okay, oh wow, actually very low. I thought I had a squad inside of it, could have actually chased it down and wiped it, but it didn't. So, I think Jesulin's going for a tier 4.
The enemy has broken our supply lines.
Yeah, tier 4 is actually up. And the 85, is that an 85 or a 76 actually?
Well, there's only 76.
Oh yeah, sorry. There's
no guard mode.
So when you're so used to guard mode,
yeah, right.
Being
What's
better,
this unit?
Like, what is this what I think it is? Yes, that's nice. It's a nice rush actually. That's going to be a really dominant unit. Actually, the 76 is going to perform very, very well here against this combination. Still no AT, but I'm happy. I have a guess that later on, when DEVM does get some munitions again, he'll probably be using the anti-Shreks as those weapons make using AT.
I feel like you're better off not being behind heavy cover, because when you're behind heavy cover against a flamer, you clump up, and then you take a lot of damage. Where if you're just out in the open, you're more spread out. So you're not always better off, because then obviously the rifles will do more damage, but a lot of the times against flamer squads, you're better off actually just staying in the open. Oh, there goes the 222. I think that was the AP ammo from the MG.
Inflicting losses upon us.
And now the M3 is still alive. Yeah, it was the AP ammo. You just checked. So nice little preemptive pop there of the ability.
Yeah, I mean, that again, that's another really important little victory there, and you know, the scout car wasn't initially there. The scout car had come in from that direction, but already having the AP switched has given him the best possible result from that engagement he could have asked for. Let's be very careful here, because if he loses another model, oh no, it hasn't got the veterancy yet, so he can't actually use the incendiary ability.
Okay, so DEVM goes for his mechanized, he goes for his Stugi, so he will have the target in the late game, so he's in a much better spot than if he went for the Puma. So I like how he went for the Stugi. I don't know if it was completely necessary, maybe would have gone for a pack or some Shreks, but still having the Stugi is going to be great. It won't deal with the T-34, but it will kind of deal with the penals in particular, and it's durable enough that the Tank Hunter Partisan Shreks aren't really a concern on their own.
Dangerous for the sniper here though. Negative cover.
Oh,
Scout
what?
goes in. That was predictable.
Negative cover, and it was a vet too, so I had extra accuracy on that M3. That was crazy.
The sector has been cut off.
Yeah, this is really good, and another 76 is actually coming up as well. So again, this is going to start becoming very difficult for. It's going to start being very difficult for DEVM to handle, especially with the 76 as well. It's its rear armor facing. There's nothing to snare it here. Panzer Grenadiers won't be able to do anything. The Sturg is forced to retreat. Jesulin doesn't know whether he's going backwards or forwards there. Could have blocked the unit in. Actually, probably let that escape. But another shot could penetrate and destroy this unit. He's going to the rear armor shot anyway. Misses because he's driving the tank. He needs to focus, sit the unit still.
Faust. Why is he Fausting?
Well, I don't know. He hasn't got the munitions.
Sorry, yeah, he does. Charge. I was looking at the wrong player. I was looking at Jesulin's munitions flow. Yeah, he doesn't have the munitions for it. So he actually lost his Stug E there. Yeah, I think not having that pack was greedy. That's the problem here. Is the M3, there's two T-34s, and he doesn't have a pack. He has no AT. Yeah. The Stug E on their own, even if you don't flank, you can't really kill them. Oh, what? The world's worst garrison. The P-Grens go down. Oh my god, this game is crumbling all of a sudden. 33 pop cap to the, I think, the 60 of DEVM.
Yeah, Jesulin suddenly picked up into a beast form here. It's, things are just starting to roll. Jesulin's kind of lost, DEVM's kind of lost face a little bit. And again, like to lose the Panzer Grenadiers like that, I mean, finally we have an AT gun, we finally have this coming onto the field, but it's just going to get overrun.
Yeah, that was brutal. I mean, you should never be in that house there. That wooden house there. There's a few like it as well. Those wooden houses just aren't good. They're so weak. They're really just for cosmetics. I don't even know why he was in there in the first place.
I think he was trying to stop getting crushed.
Yeah.
I think that was the main thing, is he'd identified there were a lot of units there, and he didn't want the crush. But that clearly didn't work out well for him.
So I think what happened there is DEVM actually had the Panzer Shreks being upgraded. Oh yeah, that's why, he had Panzer Shreks. So, but what he perhaps should have done is actually cancelled the Panzer Shreks, because he would have had 3 Panzer Fausts that would have all connected. That would have done a bit less than half the health of the T-34. But he was just waiting for the Shreks. So it was a bit of a timing there where DEVM didn't have any Shreks, didn't have any pack. It was vulnerable to the T-34s, and that sniper should have been a pack. He needed the pack before he went sniper.
I have a couple of issues here with Jesulin's current build. He doesn't need this third 76. He could have a Katusha. The Katusha would be great. The other thing as well is that why is he not going for the triple cap right now? Like, easily this unit needs to be going down there, but instead he's focusing on trying to beat DEVM out with micro engagements. And this is, in my opinion, one of the worst things you can do, because DEVM will beat you in micro engagements. His advantage right now is being able to take the PPs down, and you know, he's in severe danger of losing this.
Trying to circle this pack. Yeah, it goes down. T-34 gets the killing blow there. Let's see if actually the penals go down. He recrews the pack, and that's going to be... Oh, the Grens are retreating. No, so the penal went down?
Yeah.
He lost the penals, but let's see how many Grens go down as well.
Clearly not focused about the Gren wipes, actually. Although when the AT gun goes down, he's going to be able to recap that for himself. And he could probably get away with a base rush here, to be honest. There's nothing now that is going to be able to stop this. I wouldn't be surprised if the 76s do rush in. Jesulin is going for the triple cap, finally, which is a sensible idea.
This composition for Jesulin isn't good. He only has 2 squads of scaling infantry. He has 2 penals, where DEVM has 4 Grens, which are all Vet 2, one of them is Vet 3. So if DEVM actually holds on here, he has so many VPs left. Just needs to get a little bit more fuel out. And obviously get a pack, because there's 3 T-34s.
I really think too, if you noticed, like, Jesulin's been using the spy network as well.
Yeah.
So this I think is actually one of the things, is that his decisions...
Oh wow, this is a big mistake here. He shouldn't be pushing out like this. There's 0 AT. He's going to lose his vetted Grenadiers, or at least lose a lot of manpower, and he needs to get a pack out. With how much VPs DEVM has, he has 350. He needs to just stay in his base, get a pack out. Again, he's still probably going to lose this game because how many T-34s there are, but I feel like he shouldn't be trying to push out when he has completely no AT at all.
DEVM surrenders.
Yeah, that game wasn't going anywhere good. I mean, I thought maybe he had a chance there because there wasn't any late game scaling for Jesulin. He had no infantry that scaled well. He had 2 squads that didn't scale well. He didn't have a good late game commander, but of course, Jesulin closing that game out with the T-34s. So that was probably the closest game we've had yet. I felt like because the early game was played flawlessly, really for both of our players. There wasn't any crucial mistakes. There wasn't any squad wipes. Nobody lost anything to dumb stuff. So we had a pretty close game. But it got a little bit out of hand there towards the end. We saw the Pigrens went down. We saw the sniper went down. It was really good preservation of the M3, and he actually was managed to make it relevant in the late game. The partisans, the wipe on the MG and the steal was really important, but at the same time, I feel like it wasn't actually that effective in the long run because the partisans didn't really do much. The tank hunter partisans, they didn't wipe the 222. So the tank hunter partisan, they were pretty much a dead weight. They didn't do anything the entire game.
No.
The commander late game kind of sucks. It's just because Jesulin had so much of a fuel lead. He was able to spam those T-34s, and DEVM he didn't get any AT. He went for the sniper instead of the pack. He didn't have Shreks. He didn't have a pack. He had nothing, and so obviously the moment the T-34s showed up, they just kind of wrecked face more than I thought they would. But even then, you can't leave yourself without having any AT solutions.
Yeah, it was a shame. I actually feel like he could have closed that game out so much earlier if he had the 18 aids selected.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you know, the scout car was... the scout car could have gone down much earlier. And again, you know, like, we didn't see the sniper. And the sniper is one of those things that really does kind of eat away. I kind of felt like without the sniper being there early, the Grens weren't doing enough manpower hits on the Soviets, and the Soviets just kind of built. Do you know what I mean? It was effective enough for him to just spawn the partisans constantly, and he always had enough manpower to kind of just get away with that. And I think a sniper can actually reduce your ability. Do you know what I mean?
So you're talking about the Soviet sniper?
No, I'm talking about Oster's sniper.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think like DEVM always says like that's a key part of the.
Yeah, but he couldn't get it because of the M3, and because of also the fact that Kolodny, there's just so many shot blockers. It's really easy to get ambushed, as we saw in that game. You know, all of a sudden, the negative cover, the M3 ambushed it. It's very hard to use the sniper, and I actually really liked how he delayed it because he had a really good early game. He was very aggressive with it, with a double MG. I mean, obviously lost one, but the Partisans was a pretty big investment. I think his early game was fine. I loved how he got the sniper late. I think the sniper was good. It was too soon, even though it was late, because he didn't have any AT. If he had a pack out, if he had the Shreks out, and then he went the sniper, he would have been in a much better spot, I think.
Yeah. What have we got? More crybaby.
Are we having another break? I think there's pizza and there's people eating.
Oh, they're
pizza.
out there, aren't they? I can see them.
Yeah. Carl bought like way too much pizza, so yeah, we kind of need to devour it. Otherwise, it's going to go to waste.
Well, I think basically the kind of agreement that we had was that the players would take breaks every 2 games. So you know, they're going to be able to just have a little bit of a breather. The last break was actually really interesting because DEVM's there. He's brewing his coffee. He's like, "Quick, get in my veins."
Yeah.
We're just cramming down some pizza. And then, like, Jesulin had a Kinder Bueno. He had this Kinder Bueno bar. He's just eating the chocolate. He's got his headphones in, probably listening to a Shadowwater podcast on micro-intensity and how to win esports. And it's working for him, do you know what I mean? He's doing well, but Jesulin is centering himself, like, quite intensely at the moment. And who would have thought, really, that it comes down to this, like the 5th game? I don't think anybody was expecting it to be a game 5.
Absolutely. Jesulin is putting on an absolute show. And for game number 5, I honestly don't know what to expect here. My prediction, you asked me, I don't know if it was on stream or not, but I thought it was going to be 3-1. and it's 2-2 now. So
Yep.
this is actually proving to be a very close grand final. So yeah, it's been pretty fun. I'm hoping we have a bit more even game. I think that last game was definitely the best game we've had so far. It was very close. I think there wasn't really any mistakes being made for quite a while there, and that's of course what really matters, is playing the best that you can, and seeing, you know, who holds out the longest until eventually somebody cracks, somebody loses a squad, and then you can capitalize on that.
Alrighty, so we're going to take a quick break.
Yeah, I
with
believe
the
they're eating
players
food.
and
I'll
stuff.
have some more pizza
We'll be
and some
back.
more root beer, which is just awful. Root beer. I knew it was going to be bad, but Kyle was so
It's just
adamant that I
mouthwash.
try it, because it's like some kind of Canadian or North American thing that they live as root beer, but I wasn't a fan of it, to be honest.
It's just mouthwash, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it tastes like, it's like toothpaste combined with mouthwash. It's
Yeah, we'll if you guys want to type any questions, I'll probably be reading chat. So if there's any like major questions, we'll address it when we get back very, very shortly. But oh, okay, sorry, I thought that was something else. But yeah, we'll be back in not too long. Thank you guys for joining. 800 viewers at the moment.
Yeah,
It's
that's
going
great.
well, and join us for Game 5. It is going to be the last game of the Warpaint Championship. I'm really sad about that. But anyway, not too long to go. See you in a minute. Alright, hello, we are back, and we're about to go into Game 5 of the Warpaint Championship Series, and awesome that we have in Game 5. I think it's really cool that we've actually had 5 games to play through today. Yeah, both players are just getting ready at the moment. They're doing the vetoes, and we do have a little interesting discussion about vetoes, don't we? Because the maps that are left, I think Crossroads, Crossing in the Woods, and Faymanville.
Yeah, that's right, yep.
Are they the only 3 that remain?
I can't remember if Samoski Winter is in or not, but either way, the 3 that are left, as DEVM was saying, are actually really good maps for Axis, for Vermont in particular. Because Crossroads, Crossing in the Woods, and Faymanville, like they're all so open, and that means they're very strong for the sniper, which is such a strong part of Vermont, and especially of DEVM's playstyle in particular. Whereas the maps we've had so far, Angoville, we've had, and of course Kolodny, they're both maps that are very good for allies because of how close quarters combat they are, how many garrisons you have as well. So I actually think game number 5 is going to be a very close game, and given the map, it could actually be very dominant for the sniper in particular.
I mean, those are maps that DEVM considers to be austere favoured as well. You know, he says that those maps are heavily favoured to austere.
Yeah.
That's his comfort zone. So actually his Jesulin will most likely, we think, pick allies. He'll probably play Soviets because that's what he's won. That's what he's won games with. The 2 games he's won today have been the Soviets. No reason for him to necessarily change.
I was also talking to Jesulin as well after that game. I actually asked him about his build as opposed to con spam. Apparently in the semi-finals, which is when Jesulin initially lost to DEVM, he actually tried the con spam and he didn't have much success with it against DEVM sniper play. So this build is a specific reaction to DEVM's playstyle. You can guess the M3 scout car out as a very strong anti-sniper, which has worked both times now. We've seen the M3 take the sniper out 1 for 1, 2 for 2. So good success with it. And it's impressive that he's able to keep it alive, because I find most players that try and go M3, the moment that the scout car shows up, the 222, it pretty much just gets taken out and doesn't really do much. But Jesulin was able to keep the M3 alive and really wait for the right moment to fully commit and get the wipe on that sniper. It was such a deadly combination, the negative cover combined with the veteran C2. Just, I've never seen a sniper die so fast to a scout car before.
No, that was really unfortunate as well. Like, but it was weirdly predictable. I was like, why is it there? Like, what was he? Was he trying to just like get around to take shots through the mid? But you could see, that scout car was coming across. He had like an MG there that was within range. So I think he knew as well that he made a silly mistake. I think he said like he made silly mistakes there, and he's feeling fairly confident.
We also were talking about the Stug-E timing.
Yeah.
He got the Stug-E before he knew the T-34 showed up, so he was a little bit disappointed, because then he spent his manpower. So when he did see the T-34, he couldn't actually go for the pack. So we have Crossing in the Woods and DEVM as the Axis, the Wehrmacht. So this could be a very close game.
No, it's...
Did they restart?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe, you know what? They probably didn't do fixed
No,
spawns.
I think they messed up the positions. It looked like there. Yeah, it looks like the map choice is Crossing in the Woods. Jesulin's going to be playing Soviets. DEVM's going to be playing austere. Kind of as expected. It looks like, as we say, they probably just messed something up. They've had to just restart the game quickly. So we'll wait for that to come back on again. Unless one of them crashed or something.
Yeah. Well,
Bug Splat's on the wheel of RNG.
Was on the RNG wheel.
Was that on there? Did you have Bug Splat on there?
Bug Splat. Was it? Oh no, it wasn't actually.
It wasn't on there. You didn't have Bug Splat.
Yeah, because RNG, like, Bug Splat isn't really RNG, is it? It's, it's a bug. It was more supposed to be the RNG wheel, but but no, I'm sure it was just they forgot about the fixed locations.
Yeah.
But I think, this map, it's Again, it's going to come down entirely to the M3, and as the first two games did as well, is how much damage can the M3 do, and more so, can Jesulin manage to find a window of opportunity where he can actually use the M3, go in for the kill, try and dive the sniper and actually take it out, or will we see DEVM keep the sniper alive? Basically have the grenadiers nearby, make sure the retreat paths aren't too bad.
Sorry, the game is here. I'm just
Good guy, Stormless.
It's just when it comes up with this little thumb to say that it's modded, I always get suspicious.
It says no mod though. What?
I know. It's just, I don't know. It seems weird to me.
Yeah.
We'll jump into it.
Because it says modded, but then it also says no mod
yeah.
being played. Whatever.
There we go.
So looking at the commanders, we actually have the same commanders we've seen in this matchup many a times.
Chocolate wants us to spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel?
The wheel, I actually feel bad spinning the wheel because it's pretty much always happened, you know?
Yeah.
Go on, spin it once, and we'll just do a quick one.
But who's this for, though?
Go on, huh?
Who's this for?
For both players.
For both of them?
Yeah, that's it. They've had their one each turn. You haven't got the ticker thing at the top.
Oh, of course.
That's alright. There you go.
Oh, we started the game, but we can wait. Just
it's alright. There's loads of wait time.
We have tank one shot squad.
Tank one shot.
So we're gonna have a T-34 or a T-70 probably just blow up a squad of grenadiers, or maybe the reverse. Maybe it'll be a Tiger one-shotting a squad of penals.
Yeah, I mean it's okay when you get units like that.
Yeah.
It's when the T-70 does it that you're like, really, you know. The whole squad.
Yeah.
Mind you, when the T-70 did it, it'd already taken a couple of shots,
yeah.
so they were low health. Do you know what I mean? It was like, if they were gonna all die, like that would have been a situation that was a little acceptable. But here we go. So yeah, Crossing the Woods. I have to say, I love casting games on Crossing the Woods. It's, I really do love this map, and it's mainly due to just to the design of it. I'm a massive fan of maps where you have this kind of symmetrical view. And I always really like about this is that depending on which way you go, you know, one, you're already kind of forced to go left and right for munitions and fuel, but the ones that are on your side of the river are kind of easier for you to take. But if you want to go over to your opponents, or even go for something like a central strategy, double munitions, you have to cross like the negative cover areas. And I really like that there's a way that you can perhaps take fuel on the right and benefit from like these choke points, but you do have the negative cover there to dissuade you from it. Whereas on like the other side, you have a nice little defense. You know, you can easier stop things from moving across. I think that's really important. For instance, if like USF was a faction, it's nice to stop the riflemen because they have to travel over that to get to you, and you have like, you feel like you maybe get a little more health off of them, and you can get a few extra models down. But this is regarded as an austere map.
Yep.
This is a great map for snipers. There's plenty of medium cover positions. There's plenty of angles for the sniper to snipe like across the river as well. You know, to these other little areas, and it's possible for snipers to get really good kill counts here.
It's just a very open map, so the sniper never really has to worry about shot blockers and not being able to find its targets. There is a pretty big opportunity for flanking though through the middle of the map, so the sniper, it does have to always make sure that it's being escorted by its bodyguards, the grenadiers with their Panzerfaust, so the M3 can't exactly go in for the kill. It's a great map for scout cars in general, so even double M3 for example would actually be not a ridiculous idea. It could work pretty well, especially if you then end up having guards inside of them for the mobile anti-222.
Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to Game 5 of the Warpaint Championship Series. DEVM versus Jesulin, or Insane DEVM, as we see on the screen. But it hasn't quite been insane enough to close the 3-0 that he predicted yesterday. We are in a 2-2 situation at the moment. Jesulin has had faction selection for Game 3, but I believe DEVM is pretty happy that the remaining maps to play on, such as Crossing in the Woods, he regards as being very good for him to play austere. So we're going to see how he does with that at the moment. But the stakes are very high. This is the last game of the tournament, and the players have everything to play for.
I wonder actually if Jesulin will go for his own sniper. This is a great map for of course, the Soviet sniper as well. So that wouldn't be a bad idea. The Grenadiers with the 4-man squads, they can be a little bit vulnerable to the sniper taking away a quarter of their squad in every shot. It is a bit harder to keep alive though, because especially when you have the 222 that can chase them down, when you have penals, they don't have any Fausts. So the sniper can be nice for the Soviets, but you generally would want to go for a couple of squads of guards first, just so you have actually some very powerful anti-scout cars, so the sniper has a bit more safety.
Do you think DEVM's going to go for the classic house?
Well, he's trying to, I think. Yeah, he's trying to, but the penals won't let him. Actually, he's setting up the MG. This is pretty risky here. There's going to be Grenadiers up close. Actually gets the shot off as well with the suppression. Wow, this is a great start for DEVM now. He may secure that house.
This is this is DEVM's like signature thing on this map, really, is to get this building which covers this strategic point and just absolutely like ignore the VP situation, ignore the resources, just deny everything from the allies and build up a powerhouse of Axis. And that could not have gone better for DEVM there.
I think Jesulin could have actually flanked the MG, but he kept the penal stationary for a few seconds there, and it allowed the MG to actually fire that off, get the suppression connecting. So I feel like that was a big mistake there from Jesulin. But he is going for his M3, so he can flush that house out once he gets his flamer. But he doesn't have much munitions income, so it may take him a while to actually get the flamers out.
Good pressure applied to the penal battalions at the moment. The scout car looks like he's trying to clear the Grenadiers. Of course, the MG maybe has moved on now, trying to suppress penal battalions on the left side. Oh, nearly loses a pretty important house there.
Okay, M3 is going after the MG. The crew's a little bit exposed here, so the MG has to reface.
I think he's going to go for this house again. I think it's the sensible choice. That protected is going to be very, very difficult for Jesulin to play against, and because he's committed to tier 1 now, he doesn't have the mortar. You know, he may have to like go up to 2 CP and use guard motor if he's going to get a mortar out, but it's going to cost him like 400 manpower to do that. You know, because of that start build. I think that was something maybe that DEVM had predicted as well. And it's going to be tier 1, and I can get away with this rush.
Flank with the Pioneers. Engineer's going to have to retreat through the MG42. Should survive this one, but the MG not actually firing. Is he set facing somewhere? And he's actually putting a telemine. So he wants to have something against that scout car. Maybe the scout car will see the mine though. There's a lot of sight range. Hard to say if he actually saw that or not. I think we actually missed that one. Yeah. Couldn't quite get the sight off in time, but Jesulin, he has his guard motor locked in, so he will have the heavy mortar as an option. I believe the penals are actually upgrading themselves to the flamer inside of that M3, so DEVM's going to have to back that MG away, otherwise he may lose it. But it's been a really great opener so far. The fuel has been connected the entire time here for DEVM, so he shouldn't be too far off getting his 222.
Yeah, there we go. Flamer just pops as the scout car goes in. Faust is deployed. It's going to allow the MG hopefully to get away, and the penal battalion will try and get some shots off. The sniper's there to defend with the Grenadiers too. Are the Grenadiers going to try and bait the scout car eventually through the center area? Not going to happen at the moment, of course, but I really like that. I really like the early tele, I have to say, because the last couple of games that Jesulin has won, you know, some of them have just been entirely due to the scout car. So, you know, he's trying to lock that down straight away, and it's great protection for the sniper too.
Especially given how likely it was for the M3 to chase down the MG. Grenadiers are looking for the Faust on the M3 there, but I think they're just going for the wipe instead on the penals, but they'll be fine. So the right side fuel has been capped for Jesulin, but again, it may get cut off here by the Grenadier squad. He couldn't actually get the repair off on the M3, but now the guards have shown up. They wouldn't have the DPs just yet, but they're still very powerful.
Yeah, this, I think, may end up... I don't want to say it's a mistake, because it isn't, but DEVM's going to have the snipers really, really honing down on those guard squads. There's going to be, you know, with the little amount that Jesulin has on the field, to spend a lot of time reinforcing these.
Another telemine's being planted there, so the M3 has to be very careful with where it paths, and maybe Jesulin should go for the sweeper rather than the flamer on his engineers. Gets the heavy mortar out, so that's going to be good against the MGs, especially if he tries to go for those houses. But of course, the sniper's going to be very mobile, able to poke away at the infantry and even the mortar itself. Oh, he actually gets a sweeper, nice. So he will clear out this telemine.
Yeah, that's a good play from Jesulin though.
Oh, the other teller though, gonna blow up the M3, and the peelers as well. 3 models go down.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
People raining from the sky after that telemine there.
Really good start here for DEVM. Let's see his teching. Maybe he'll actually skip the 222 because now he killed the M3, so he doesn't really need a 222. He could probably just go straight for a Panzer IV. Or maybe he'll just go CP, but he hasn't really had that much command points. This game hasn't been that fast-paced. It's almost 7 minutes and only 3 CPs, so I don't think Stug E is going to be an option. It'll take far too long, especially compared to how much fuel he actually has. Double munis points as well, and that's really important for the Axis. If he can get LMGs on all of his grenadiers, keep spamming more S-mines to really limit map mobility, especially if you put S-mines on that middle VP, it really limits mobility through the map and hard to actually take that VP. So putting mines there is so important. There's actually a lot of choke points in this map where S-mines can be very punishing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dream situation for Game 5 here with DEVM, and the heavy mortar is doing reasonable work, but I mean, DEVM's just too quick with this repositioning. He really is moving loads. You can see his movements on the point. He's just constantly paying attention to this. Jesulin's trying to focus on getting the VP decap. I think he realizes the significance of losing a triple cap early on. This is going to make things very difficult for him. It's going to create a lot of ease for DEVM to close the game down quicker. So he needs to be very, very careful of this. And traditionally it's the allies that want to take the VPs away from the Axis. You do not want to give them the long game potential. But again, like, good positioning from DEVM here. He's going to come around the left side, just picking off units, picking them off with no real care in the world. And without that scout car, the sniper's in pretty safe control at this point.
We are losing
Double guards here for Jesulin, so we'll have the infantry advantage. 2 penals, 2 guards, a very strong mix. DEVM going for a double sniper, which I think is actually fantastic. I think it's a really smart choice. Perhaps he is vulnerable, because again, he has no anti-tank. He has killed the M3, and Jesulin, he couldn't possibly have a T-70 this early, but DEVM needs to get a pack out as soon as he gets that second sniper, because otherwise he could just get steamrolled by a T-70. Maybe he will go Puma, given that he will have 5 command points at the time, and a Puma's going to give him a lot more anti-T-70 than what a pack will. And of course, that's not as good as late game, but when you have 2 snipers, you should be able to just completely shut down the penals and the guards. It won't even matter.
Making use of that heavy mortar. Jesulin managed to kind of get a lot of the map back then, which I was surprised. I didn't think he'd be able to do that, but he has. He's managed to kind of get the field a little bit back under his control. The real question is, how is he going to deal with these snipers? He's going to be relying really on this heavy mortar to kind of pick them off. That's certainly how it seems, and in fact the scatter here may help him out. He's going to go for another scout car.
Wow.
Which I guess is the best thing he has at his disposal at this point to deal with this situation. If he can get a good scout car rolling, like
now he's so vulnerable, isn't he?
Well, yeah, I mean, taking out, for instance, both those snipers would be an incredible turn of events here. It's equally risky in the sense that at the moment they're like unprotected. Fortunately, there's 3 grenadiers, so Fausts are, should be easy, but DEVM isn't really using them how we've seen him use them in previous games. They're not as protected as they have been elsewhere.
That sniper with half health is so vulnerable as well. The mortar can take him out very easily if it hits near him, so I definitely hope the sniper actually gets healed up, and DEVM now building a pack, so Jesulin not really making use of the opportunity, but he still has a little bit of a window here now. The M3 is going forward, with the penals. The snipers are pretty far back towards their base though, so I think he should be fine, especially with the MG setting up. Actually, we're going to use the incendiary on the conscript, rather than the combat engineers. It goes down, and now there's going to be the M3 going in. He may get one of them. Where is the pack? Just arriving now, but the Grens are showing up here. There goes one sniper. The double Faust will come through. Can he wipe the sniper in time though? Out of munitions is DEVM. There goes the M3. The sniper's juking around the HQ. Penal's looking for the wipe here. How good is the juking, DEVM? It's pretty good so far, but maybe it won't be enough. Oh my god, this is so close.
The tension. Jesulin's going to have to consider.
Oh, excellent. Look at that. He gets the satchel off on the bunker. Nice. He took my advice, but let's see if the penals go down. Doesn't have the incendiary as an option.
DEVM has the cheek to take a shot on the retreat as well.
Fantastic play there from Jesulin. He gets one sniper, and he gets the med bunker, and that was the vetted sniper too, so that was a great play. And again, DEVM, he made the same mistake.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Oh, look at his squads. Yeah. He lost the penals. I didn't see that on retreat.
Yeah, well, the penals went down to the MG on the retreat.
Right,
so
I didn't see that.
Jesulin, like, DEVM was dealing with all of that, repositioned an MG on the retreat path, knowing that squad was going to come through. There we have it. Wow, DEVM.
What an end.
The coffee really kicked in that game, and DEVM takes the first place position.
I still think that may have been a little bit early to throw in the towel though. Given that like he had enough resources for a T70, he wasn't completely out of it. Like, yeah, he was in a rough spot because he lost a squad of penals, but he had the heavy mortar. He could have got some wipes for that if he was lucky. Yeah. He could have, used the guards in conjunction with the T70. I feel like he maybe just got a bit too emotional. I think he definitely should have stayed in. There's a lot of money on the line here, and when you're Soviets, you always have the potential to get some wipes with the T70 and with the mortar, and perhaps bring it around for you.
Well, the problem is, like, Axis is so strong at the moment that it's really difficult to stay in a game when you start losing units as allies. Like, there's no point. Axis is just too OP. as DEVM knows.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the Warpaint Championship wrapped up. It's 3-2 in favor of DEVM. He is our winner, the Portuguese player.
We'll get him in, I think, for a little congratulations thing. Maybe just see like how they're feeling. But the first 4 games were really, really good. I have to say, like, I really enjoyed that. The last one was a little bit of DEVM, just kind of like strolling in. And do you know what? Losing that house at the beginning, I think that was such a predictable little strategy, really, from DEVM. It's something he's always done. It was so cool. I think it was OCF that he started doing that. And it was just so, it was so good. And I think once he gets into that position, if you haven't gone tier 2 and you don't have the access to the mortar, he was so trapped. And the rush with the penal battalion, like the flamer penals and the scout car, was great, and it was the right thing to do. But unfortunately, like it's so much of a good early game that it wasn't enough. I think we have the guys. Yep, send them in.
Congratulations, DEVM.
Congratulations. There we go. We'll get the old microphone up.
Well, where do we start, Stormless?
Well, let's start by talking about the last game. So obviously, we'll have a little bit of discussion about like everything in general. That last game, winning with Austere on that map, you said it was kind of an austere map. Like, we think we were just discussing that house on the northern side of Crossing in the Woods. That's like a signature thing for you. How did you feel when you see him get into that house? You know, was this a moment of oops?
Oh, I'm on the cable. Sorry.
No worries.
In our games that we played for the tournament, to some Capstone games, he did the same, and I couldn't do anything because it's just impossible. Yeah.
So it's like, because we were discussing as well, like the builds, the difference in builds for Austere and Soviet. So when you go penals, DEVM had 3 squads on the field. He's got the MG, the Grenadiers, the Pioneers, and you end up, by the time the penal battalion comes on the field, do you feel that's like a weakness of not going for the conscripts, is that you don't have the reaction response to that strategy?
Yes, I know, but if you go conscripts on that map, he will spam 2 snipers,
Mm.
and I don't have any chance.
Yeah. So, did you think like Did you not think to veto that map? Is what I was trying to say.
No, because if I play over Commando, for example, the other maps were a shit,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it was my only choice
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
map.
Crossroads would be just as bad for Ostia, surely.
I
It
don't know.
depends.
Yeah.
We played a lot of games on that map, and
Yeah.
he won me all of them.
Oh. God.
Yeah.
So did you kind of have a feeling of you knew how it was going to go?
Yeah.
Yep. You're so honest, you know. You're so honest.
Yeah, but I played very well this
Yeah.
series.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was
I-
an amazing 4 games.
Yeah.
Like the first ones were brilliant and great. How was it for you? Like the other games as well?
The first one.
Yeah.
First 2 games. I mean, first game, besides like the first minutes where I did those mistakes of letting him up some map control that shouldn't, it went well. Second game and fourth were kinda the same because I did a lot of early mistakes with Ossier, which get punished a lot, and he just kinda controlled it from there. And in the third game, which was a US game for me, I think that it's my best faction, so it went very well, I guess. He did get my cutoff early, but I had multiple units behind his front line, so I just cut him off too. And then just from there, it was like snowballing the game.
Do you have any like effect for both of you? Because you played exceptionally well with the Soviet factions today. You played exceptionally well with Ostir. Do you have any like advice to give people who are maybe struggling with those factions or like just want to know more about?
You mean Ostia or City?
Yeah, you for Ostir. Yeah.
I mean, Ostia is kind of in a delicate position right now. If you're talking about auto match, I would say probably try to veto the maps that are like close ranged ones, and just try to play around with the sniper mostly. I mean, sniper, it's kind of a hard unit to use, but if you get to use it well, Ostia really gets going.
Yeah, yeah. And of course you for Soviets, because the Soviet games you played, the builds were really strong.
Yes, they were good games. In the first one, I spam Wars, the typical Soviet game
Yep.
of this patch. And in the second one, I tried something different with Partisan, and it worked very well.
Yeah.
Bad luck with the third game of Soviets, but he played better than me.
Yeah.
So he deserved the win.
How come you decided to concede that early? Because I think you still had a decent chance. You had enough fuel for the T-70. You had a bit of manpower. You actually took out his med bunker as well. I feel like it was definitely, you were on the back foot. It would have been a struggle. But how come you were so sure that you didn't have a chance?
No, I was unable because I lost so many squads, some wars. I didn't have hell on my base,
Oh, you didn't have medics,
and
okay.
he was probably waiting for an Stuggy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So it was game over.
You want to say that again, sorry, Devin?
Yeah, I hadn't picked commander yet, but that would have probably been a Steggy. Even if you went for the T-70, I probably would have a Puma out to counter it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely... it's hard to play after that because you have the sniper alive, and I mean, the guards have to be stationary to be effective, so the sniper's pretty powerful against them. But the heavy mortar can always change games. You always have the potential to get a lucky wipe with that or the T-70. So it's you do have to have a pretty good start on crossing in the woods, I think. But congratulations to DEVM for winning the $2,000. I believe it's US dollars, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So 2,000, 1,000, I think is first and second place for that one.
Yeah.
Both winners, of course, still. Yeah, I guess that kind of wraps up the tournament. I hope you guys enjoyed being in Vancouver as well. We have to say thank you to Relic for hosting the event and just doing all these awesome things to bring you guys along. We've enjoyed it. Have you guys enjoyed it? Yep. This a bit more enthusiasm just for the
You just wanted a tournament,
for Twitch. Come on, yeah. Unless we have anything else.
Well, I'm going to be posting all of these videos on my Twitch. Oh, sorry, on my YouTube. So if you missed some of the earlier games or you want to re-watch them for whatever reason, then make sure you have youtube.com/generalsgentleman subscribed, and you will see those games there, as well as the interview from yesterday that we did. That'll also be posted on the channel. So that's basically all I have to say, Stormless.
Yeah.
If that's it, then thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting Company of Heroes, watching our streams. It's always nice to have you in there. And we'll see you next tournament, next stream, next cast that we do.
Stay tuned for Dawn of War 3 NDA leaks.
Oh yes, yes, we're definitely keen to get our hands on DAO 3, or at least something that we can present.
Fantastic. All right, well, thank you everyone for watching. We hope you enjoyed Warpaint Championship. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for hitting the milestones, which of course have ended up with us all here together. It's been absolutely fantastic, and that's pretty much it. Till next tournament.
See ya.